Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can hear and see me, Zygmunt.
Yes, very good. Thank you.
Great, great. Thank you, Zygmunt, for the warm welcome. I am really happy that RPA is becoming more and more trending and relevant subject. We already heard some interesting things and facts regarding robotics and process automation, but now I would like to share our experience story and how we hired not one, not two, but five of them. As already mentioned, my name is Saimons Žirnis, and I am Business Process Development Manager in Amber Beverage Group. In simple words, my main task is to recognize and assess internal processes which could or should be made more efficient, usually through automation, or sometimes through better use of already existing software and hardware, which might already be at our disposal. Few words about us, about our company. Amber Beverage Group is a rapidly growing global spirits company whose products are found in millions of households across the globe. ABG is active in more than 175 markets. Based on our knowledge and experience, we are recognized as specialists in vodka, bitters, brandy, tequila, and sparkling wine production. The company has grown from its original core production business established in year 1900 to become a global spirits industry player. We own 8 distribution companies and 5 production facilities in different parts of the world, as well as several retail chains in the Baltics and 44,000 square meters of warehousing space. We produce, bottle, market, distribute, export, and retail a comprehensive range of beverages of more than 600 own and third-party brands, spanning everything from premium vodka and sparkling wines to specialty Mexican tequilas. Our core brands are most familiar Riga Black Balsam, Moskovskaya Vodka, Ruste Rojo Tequila, Katehila, Kroski's Gin, and Cosmopolitan Diva. And of course, to make this all happen, we unite more than 2,000 employees in more than 20 companies, including top-notch professionals in brewing, logistics, marketing, sales, finance, and of course, IT. If we talk specifically about RPA in our company, our task force consists of 3 parts. Internal, let's say, center of excellence, where daily supervision, communication, and RPA management of 2 full-time business process development managers, including me, is combined with business and ERP knowledge and high-level strategic view of our CFO and head of group finance service unit and head of ERP department. Second part is pure IT with RPA development and administration, provided by 3 part-time programmers, from which 2 are outsourced from Digital Mind and 1 is in-house. The third part is our 5 beloved unattended robots, which are built and maintained thanks to Cryon RPA software. And just to emphasize, these robots do not possess physical form. All is created and managed virtually within already mentioned software, Cryon. So I guess the first question would be why we chose RPA, or even better question, why we even started to consider RPA in the first place 2 years ago. So let me ask you a question. How many data sources and data streams are in your company? I am sure you have incoming emails, invoices, separate modules of core legacy system, or even several systems working simultaneously. For example, digital archive for documents, accounting software, warehouse software. You might have system-generated reports as well as reports prepared by the employees. And in the end, there might be also physical documents circulating around, right? And another question, what is common for all these data sources? The fact that information comes in raw and should be processed to be readable or understandable to the recipient before providing any results. In this case, the recipient can be an employee or a system. Therefore, we came to a very important conclusion that there are tasks where processing takes too much time and too much manual tasks. And what was the worst? These were simple, mechanical, and repetitive steps without any added value. And also, due to this, we faced workload bottlenecks during monthly closings because employees had to finalize all reports and postings in limited time frame. At the same time, doing copy-paste tasks month over month. And this is not only related to accounting, there were plenty of processes in other departments where manual tasks were present. Before we first came together regarding this, we agreed on a simple homework. to come up with ideas which might be the tasks we would like to automate. And the result was astonishing. More than 80 processes were recognized for automation at the first meeting. Doing so, our main goal was to increase efficiency, speed, and quality of these tasks. And key factor here was that robots possess unique strengths. They never sleep, they don't get ill, they are able to work 24/7, 365 days a year without even breaking a sweat. And of course, we believe that this should impact our costs, because if we would be able to channel these manual tasks to robots, we wouldn't need to increase our physical workforce in the future. If you ask me, it went really well, and we were able not only to achieve our initial goals, but even to go further. So during past 2 years, we have automated more than 130 processes. The number is still growing at this moment across more than 15 entities. For now, each robot daily processes approximately 600 tasks each on average, which sums up to 720 active working hours in total. But our capacity is far greater. This is because we acquired 5 robots instead of 1 or 2 to make sure that active work do not overlap with development and testing of new tasks. Also, if something goes wrong, we are still able to provide full processing service with remaining robots. It is worth mentioning that according to external research, 1 robot hour is equivalent to approximately 4 human hours. So you can do the math. And this is basically because robot is always focused and can work with incredible speed. Also, as I mentioned before, robots are available all the time, while employees are available during working hours, and only part of it can be assumed is highly effective. Now, I will tell you about some examples of most common process types where we have introduced RPA. I won't go into technical details because in each company there might be differences, but in general, the idea remains the same. The first process we automated was approval of purchase orders for operating expenses. As this is a crucial part in daily business activity, it took too much time for higher management to approve these expenses. Not only management had to check incoming emails manually with such requests, each expense had to be approved directly from ERP system, which could be accessed only from laptop. What we did, we made sure that after a purchase order is created, automatic email is sent to the approver. Additionally, this email contains all the relevant information as well as options to approve or reject directly without opening the accounting system. This was a huge success because now approvers could process this information on the go, and most importantly, the process timeframe decreased significantly from several days to hours or even minutes. So if we talk about invoices, I am sure that you all have invoices which have to be issued on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and so on. What we did, we identified not only those invoices where amounts remain the same for a longer period of time, but also invoices where amounts change or should be taken from specific data sources before issuing. Therefore, when needed with help of RPA, figures are taken, processed, and posted without employee intervention. The only involvement is when the notification email is received together with already posted invoice. Next are large topic, advanced statements. Previously, all expense receipts were manually gathered together in paper form and information was added in Excel spreadsheet. Then the spreadsheet was sent for approval to manager, but receipts were sent to accounting for archiving. Their accountant checked all receipts one more time, reconciled the information against spreadsheet in the email, and only then posted the amounts. Now, in combination with RPA, we use DMS, or document management system, which allows us to take pictures with our mobile phones of all our receipts and add them to digital archive remotely. All approval process also is carried out using built-in workflow. And when the process is approved, RPA solution offers an automatic creation of journal in ERP system based on underlying database through SQL. Next, if there are several systems and information have to be reconciled on a regular basis, most likely it's done manually. And again, now it is done by a robot and the result is received as an email. So quite simple. As I mentioned earlier, when we receive information in different forms, we need to process it. In this case, there are a lot of information which have to be added to our core system. And in several cases, it is received by the employees who are not familiar nor with accounting nor ERP system. In such cases, we have created specific templates which they have to fill in. And after these inputs are sent to the robot, all necessary tasks are done automatically. For example, if this is a new stock item which should be added to the system, the template holds only key information and all other fields are taken based on predefined algorithms during RPA development. Also, if there are invoices which are received with high regularity and simple layout, built-in OCR function of RPA software can be used to recognize the information and afterwards carry out those specific tasks. Also, RPA solution is capable of recognizing specific conditions within the source system. For example, if an incoming order should be treated as prepayment, for example, robot will check what is the status of respective client and based on the algorithm will carry out the tasks, making sure that the prepayment invoice is always issued in the timely manner. Previously, this was done by the accountant on irregular basis. Another example could be orders where final discounts are greater than initially agreed and these corrections should be posted. Robot would recognize such orders and responsible employees, then it would automatically send notification to approve the new discounted amounts and then go on with the necessary posting steps in the system. And finally, RPA is highly friendly with other systems. In our case, we have an automated process of specific invoices involving not only robots, but also OCR software, document management system, and ERP. Here, large amounts of invoices are received via email. Then they are recognized and stored in digital archive, from where ERP system takes necessary data for processing, and later the RPA finalizes the process. Next important part of daily lives, at least especially now when we have so many processes, is maintenance. This most definitely cannot be taken lightly because the time necessary for this mainly is a result of development quality, health of legacy systems, and overall management of the process. So that's why it is crucial to make sure that process descriptions used for robot creation are available for other employees in case of a responsible employee is absent and it is necessary to understand the respective RPA steps. Also, this might come in handy because after a period of time, it is highly probable that even the responsible employee might forget how the process was done manually. And it really happens. It really happens. Another thing to remember is that robots have to be looked after. Regardless of quality of the process, there is always chance of error. Most common might be Windows updates, differences in regional settings, lack of licenses for other systems during monthly closings, also reboots or updates of legacy systems. And of course, accidental human intervention because part of robot steps might be carried out in the same environment and user interface where all other employees are working. Next thing, the changes are legacy systems or in those systems where RPA solution is applied might impact the work of the robot. This is because if we teach a robot to perform specific tasks and to look in specific places, then if we change the location where to look, the algorithm won't be able to successfully complete. Therefore, if such changes are necessary, bear in mind to consider whether the adjustments might be necessary also at RPA side. And if we think about regular questions which are asked to process owners, we have managed to channel them through centralized ticket system. Therefore, we were able to free up even more time for employees. This is important because according to our experience and discussions, we learned that such questions took up notable part of their daily work time. And of course, it is quite difficult to maintain focus if you have to answer questions all the time. And as final thing to consider, keep eyes and ears open for potential improvements of existing RPA processes. For example, if legislation is changed related to preparation of specific document, we would need to understand how this impacts or if it impacts our process and should it be changed or improved on RPA level. Next logical question would be what to do when so much processes are already automated, how to look for and how to find new processes for RPA implementation. Actually, the answer is quite simple. These are actions we are practicing already. First, communicate with the management on regular basis to understand which processes might be subject to deep dive again or from new, as they are directly responsible for the specific areas, and we expect them to be the ones who notice if something should be improved in their department or chain of command. Next, we speak with employees of the relevant department, as they should be the first who might notice if steps of the process should be changed or improved to make work easier. Another approach we take is process audits of departments. This is quite time consuming because we speak with majority, even all of them, all of employees, to understand what their daily tasks are, where potential struggles might be, and how existing software solutions are utilized. And the fourth action relates to previous slide. Always look for potential improvements, because why do specific steps if probably there might be new, better ways to do it. And finally, we try to summarize key takeaways to share with you. I know that all those things mentioned earlier by me and also both other guest speakers might get overwhelming, but trust me, if you decide to go with RPA, do it thoroughly and take your time, step by step. And this is also the first takeaway. Assess the processes you are planning to automate. Make sure that you understand what user and system actions might lay beneath the surface. It is highly probable that at the end you will not only apply RPA solution for the specific task, but also you will make this process more clear and more transparent to the user. For us, this was the case for a lot of processes, because we were able not only to pinpoint which steps should be delegated to the robot, but also which steps should be updated and left for the employee or even removed from the chain. If we talk about investments, do not hesitate to invest specifically in development of RPA and also in necessary steps to maintain stable legacy system. In other words, the better the foundation of the process and the more thorough the build, the less potential maintenance resources might be needed on a regular basis. Regarding integration, I am sure that at least some of you from the audience, especially with IT background, are wondering why use robots if you can integrate systems. True, integration should not be forgotten and should be assessed as one of the options during the process. But keep in mind that usually integrations might get heavy in terms of necessary resources. They might require involvement of several in-house or outsourced employees. The development and implementation timeline might get pretty stretched, and if you manage to finalize the project, each new changes in the process have to be approved, developed, implemented, and tested in all involved systems. At the same time, when you have RPA solution working across several systems, not only it can be developed and maintained by one person, but also any changes can be added or removed to the robot process in a matter of minutes. The last but not least, it is wise to invest effort to make sure that the robots are properly onboarded within a team they will be working on. In this case, I mean, to introduce the robot to employees. We found this very useful when we presented our first RPA solution. We managed to assign personality to it, therefore introducing not a tool, but a colleague, a friend who is here to help and to make lives of other colleagues easier. Here you can see how our introduction message looked like, and trust me, it worked. Not only we didn't feel any negative resistance from the colleagues, we also avoided potential stress caused by ignorance, because we explained who it is, what will be its main tasks, and what to expect during daily collaboration. And as you can see, its name is Arnold's, and I guess it is pretty clear why what the message was if we speak about robots. And by the way, Arnold's did his job so well that after the first month, based on individual voting, it was recognized as the best employee of the month. I guess it was quite clear message that onboarding went very well, not to say more. So I hope you heard something relevant for your company and for your situation. If you had doubts, then maybe now you received answers. If not, stay tuned, because I am sure that the epic discussion, the next part of this seminar, will be really interesting, as well as do not miss out masterclasses in the third part. And now, few emphasizing words regarding RPA in the next video from head of our department, Diana Stavetka. Welcome.
First, we identified our need. We understood what processes we would like to robotize. Further, we took a thorough look at 5 processes and analyzed them. We submitted our analysis to various robotics process automation vendors and evaluated their offers based on cost, speed, and proof of concept. As a result, we chose the company that was able to prove that their offer was most suited for us. The maintenance of robots as such is not difficult, but you have to keep an eye on maintaining your processes. There may be such processes that perform every day or regularly, and you do not even have to be involved for several successive years. Yet, some processes require occasional involvement, and it may be for various reasons. For example, one of the reasons may be changes in your ERP system. If your robot is working within an ERP system and changes are made to this system, then you have to understand how it will affect the robot. We mostly use unattended robots. Basically, the robots are given tasks that they accomplish during the specified time, or when called based on a specific action. But generally, we use unattended because we move through processes to take place during the night, not day, if possible. If it's essential for the process to take place during the day, we move it to a free time slot, which most often is at night or on holidays. The very first step was to understand which process, if automated, would provide the most benefit to as many employees as possible. For us, it was the purchase order process, which overall required a great number of human resources at our company. When we recruit new employees, we publish an organizational announcement, which includes a description of the employee, their photo, their previous employment, what their hobbies are, and what were their former job responsibilities. Based on that, we did the same thing for our robots, so all employees would be familiar with their new colleague. We set the tone for our employees to recognize the robot as a colleague, not as a competitor that would bring disruption to their workplace.
Oh yeah, I think it's very obvious, and thank you for this video. And yeah, it's practice when you do it or been there and done that. I think it's the experience others can learn from, and that's why we this forum do. Simon, before you're leaving, I have some questions about. We have Simon on this here. Yep.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Very shortly, if someone will ask you, does it worth to do RPA or not? What's the answer?
Okay, so if you mean whether I suggest RPA to someone, then yes, do RPA, but keep in mind that you need to have the tasks to entrust to RPA. Because if you have a company where there is only a few potential tasks to automate, then it might get pretty boring for the robot. But if you mean whether it was worth to implement RPA and ABG, then I would say definitely yes. And not only because we were able to significantly decrease amounts of manual tasks, but also because we are still receiving positive feedback from the employees who are happy that together we were able to improve their daily work lives.
Yeah, thanks. And the one more is from practical average time spending to RPA adjustments or legacy system integrations. What's the difference?
Okay. So I would say it is hard to give precise numbers because. Should I continue?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So because when we chose RPA for specific tasks, we didn't use integration, vice versa. But what I can confirm is that in integration projects, we usually consider it weeks or even more, including all necessary meetings and approvals. But from RPA side, the average time frame, regardless of difficulty, usually takes from a few hours to few working days for new developments. For example, we have cases where on Monday we decided that we need an RPA solution for specific tasks, and on Friday it is already tested and successfully running live. Also, as I mentioned before, if we talk about changes, then in RPA it can be done even in minutes. Therefore, you can compare this with your own knowledge or experience about integrations, and you will come to conclusion that the differences in time can be quite huge.